Hi guys!
Hello everyone!
It's Jack and Lorraine back with another video here on BigFish Media. And Lorraine, today what are we talking about?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. We're going to talk about how to work with voiceover artists and how to work with them well.
You see that? It's like we're having a conversation.
I know, it's cute.
Okay, yes, so how to work well with voiceover artists. Yes. Okay, cool.
So we have 5 points that we kind of really want to cover, and they're really the what, where, who, wheres, and whys.
Yes, the who, what, when, where, and why.
Yes.
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 I just said the same thing in a different way.
You did. Well
That's
done.
the thing we do.
It is.
So, where do you want to start?
Well, I think start at the beginning.
Which
What?
is what?
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 Big W, what?
As in, what are we doing? What is the job?
What is the job? Yes, many of our clients come to us and they send us a script. Thank you very much. And we say, well, what is this? Is it a radio ad? Is it a TV ad?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a corporate video? Or is it an on hold?
Is it an audiobook?
Is it an audiobook?
Is it just a wild imaginings of a crazy man?
Exactly. Now, or woman.
Or woman.
Usually, you can tell when you get a script and you've done this for a while, and we've seen quite a few between us, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we've written quite a few.
Yes, we have.
We have written quite a few. You will know whether it is a 10-second ad for radio or TV, because they're very different. And for example, for TV, they're usually quite short, punchy sentences, where for radio, they're kind of filling in the imagery with words. Explainer videos are much more verbose.
Verbal heavy.
Yes, I know, thank you. Then on hold is on hold, so it would say something very short and simple, like
lots of short messages.
Short messages like, welcome to BigFish Media. Our offices are now open from 9 AM to 6 PM.
Please press 1 for sales. Press 2 for that sort of thing.
Exactly. So from the script you should be able to tell. However, this is not always the case. So always ask, what is the job?
Yeah, what medium they're using it in, that basic questions like that, so you get a full understanding of what it is that you're being asked to do.
Exactly. Now, 2.
When? When is the deadline, basically?
Yes.
When is this needed for? Because, first of all, if it's going to be a rush job that you're going to need to be done last minute, then, you need to know that first of all, so you know to put this up the priority order. You may want to charge more if it's a priority job, because you're going to have to push other things aside to make room for that sort of thing.
Deadlines, just so you know, you can plan around
just
it.
so you know, so you can plan your life accordingly around it, and to know
and also inform the client, because the client might say it's urgent, but actually their urgency may be very different to your urgency. For example, you might think it's the next day and they might say the next week, so then you've got space to build it into your system processes.
And if you do need it, turns out the client doesn't need it straight away, you need to know all the information as quickly as possible so that you can deliver what they need as quickly as possible.
Exactly. So, 3.
Who is the client that this is being made for? So it's not necessarily the production company who's dealing with you. This is, who is this script for?
Yes, who is the final client? For example, it could be a big multinational.
Yep.
It could be a big retailer. It could be a well-known author.
Or it could be none of those. It could be a very small local client. It could be a local business that's
like a butcher's or candlestick maker.
Or a baker.
Yes.
Just to fill in the blank of those three.
Or a tinker or a tailor.
Or a soldier or a spy. No, wait.
No.
Anyway,
Well,
yes, it could be for a small local tradesperson, for instance, or it could, in fact, just be for a private author who's trying to self-publish an audiobook.
Exactly. So it's always important to know the end client, just so you know, because this also does affect price and affects possibly deadlines.
A huge multinational is going to have a lot more of a budget, and they're going to be using your audio in a lot more places, most likely, than a local.
Well, this leads us to point number 4.
Number 4,
which is
where is it going?
Good question, Jack. Where is this audio going?
Where is it being used?
And the questions you should ask include and cover: will it be going online?
And then that can be subdivided into client's website, social media, for instance. Is it going to be used on YouTube? Is it going to be anywhere else in the virtual world?
Exactly. And is it TV? Is it a commercial? Is it going to be
a radio commercial?
Radio commercial.
Is it going to be a TV commercial?
And how many places it's going to be used radio-wise?
How many radio stations? How many TV stations?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many impressions? For instance, if it's a website. So all of these things are very good questions to be asking.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they'll say it's for a year or
in perpetuity. In use forever and ever.
Now, this is an interesting discussion that I always have with clients all the time.
In fact, I heard you have a discussion about this today.
I did have this discussion today, because realistically, the production company and ourselves, can it be used forever?
Yeah.
Likely not.
I mean,
really.
Theoretically, it could.
It could theoretically. However, if you have, for instance, a beautiful makeup product and you advertise it for Christmas one year, the likelihood it's going to come back a second year at Christmas that time, it's probably going to be quite low, and unless it is usually a new brand, a new colourway to the product, so it's highly unlikely to be used again. So it's a bit of a misnomer, that one.
Yeah, because the only times when perpetuity would be in effect with a recording is usually on something where they won't even ask the question, for instance, an audiobook or a video game, because then once it's made, it will exist on that forever, and there is nothing you can do about that. Whereas the only time that that's going to be asked is usually with advertising-based stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
And usually, good advertisers do not use the same advert forever. They keep updating and doing new messages.
I mean, there are spots that have been reused again and again and again, and some of our voices have had this happen, and then, because it's been reused again, the production company has come to us and said, we've used it again, let's renegotiate some rates, which is absolutely the fine and correct way to do this.
Yeah, they just have to pay for, basically to update the license essentially for it, so that the artist is getting their share
of usage.
Exactly.
Very important.
Final point though, number 5. Why? This is a fundamental sort of underpinning of all the other points really. Why is this being made, and mainly this is more for you as a voiceover artist to know what the angle is, so what kind of tone of voice they're going to want, what kind of style of voice that they're looking for. That does come down to the why, as in what is their aim, what are they trying to get out of this.
What is their call to action with making this particular piece of copy? What is the context? Where is it going? Who is it for? Who is the target audience? Why have they picked your voice? Because there will have been a reason. There really, really will have.
Yes, there definitely will have.
There's a reason you will pick Jack over me, and a reason you'll pick me over Jack.
Yeah, we have quite different voices, if you haven't been able to tell.
I've noticed.
We sound quite similar. We're like the same. Said no one, by the way, because we're very different. Voice-wise.
So why have they picked your voice? I mean, that's great that they have. So there is a fundamental reason behind it. Is it because you have a reassuring voice? Is it because it's light? Is it because it's bubbly, professional, authoritative?
Is it because they heard your voice on something else and they went, I'd like something like that you did before?
Or do you have an accent, which again gives lovely imagery and to the copy?
It really does. I mean, for instance, I'm name checking now, but
name checking.
But for instance, I always remember the cooperative adverts when they use that distinctive Scottish voice.
Yes.
The cooperative, good with third.
Good with third.
It's very. See,
other adverts are available.
Other supermarkets are available.
But yes, I mean, now you've remembered it. I mean, that's the thing.
Same as you don't hear a British accent, an English accent, or a neutral RP accent for a Visit Scotland commercial or a Visit Wales commercial. You want to hear an authentic accent to illustrate that area. It just makes sense.
And this is actually a very good point about copy, once we slightly divulge from this, but how to work well with artists is because clients are looking for authenticity.
Yes.
And they're looking for a voice that delivers what they have in their head. So why they've picked you, they've heard some sort of authenticity that will work with their brand, product or service, and that is why they need you.
Yes, you have value, voiceover artists.
Absolutely.
Remember that. They picked you.
Exactly.
Nobody else. You.
Just you.
Yeah. So those are the fundamentals then for how to work well with voiceover artists. So as a producer, bear these 5 points in mind. What is the job? When is it due? Who's it for? Why have I got 4 already? Who's it for? Where is it going? And why? Why are you making this? What's the reasons behind it?
Exactly. So yes, and It does pay to go professional.
Of course, you get what you pay for.
You do get what you pay for.
And on that note, I've been Jack.
I've been Lorraine. Thank you very much.
We'll see you next time for our next free video here on the BigFish Media channel. Bye!
Bye!